PC WizKid here with an Intel high-end gaming PC build. That's right, I'm using a mini case from Bitfinex, the Prodigy M. I reviewed this not too long ago. Here's an example of what you could put in there. However, I'm putting these components in there instead. A Sapphire Toxic Tri-X Edition graphics card with an awesome RAID Max 850 watt power supply, a Kingston HyperX 240GB SSD drive in there, and of course a high quality gigabyte board, the Z87N Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi. As you can see, I've got the Intel Core i7 4770K with some g.skill Ripjaws memory. Why? Well, because we're going to be overclocking this to 4.5 gigahertz, running it at CL11 timings, 2133 megahertz, and I don't want any problems. This board is going to run stable. It supports the extreme memory profiles of this g.skill memory, and that's why it's what we need. The Z87 chipset is high-end. We're looking at using the onboard Wi-Fi because I'm going to actually test that when I play Battlefield 4 online multiplayer. The installation, though, starts off with the Bitfinex Prodigy M case and gutting it. So in other words, looking for all those parts that are versatile, easily to be removed, that I reviewed not too long ago. So if you're interested in knowing more about this case, I'll add the link below. I basically am going to start removing things such as the 120mm fans that it comes with. Take that out. Take both of them out, actually. I'm going to be putting in the power supply from RAID Max after. This is a nice small power supply. It's modular, so I only use the cables that I need. I fastened the bracket on there from the Bitfinex case ready to go, and I'll be installing that one later. But right now it's about clearing the case, making room, and planning. How are we going to do things? So I'm going to install a huge fan here at the bottom of the case. That's going to exhaust the air that's warm from inside of the case out the bottom. At the back of the case, I'm going to have a liquid CPU cooler. At the top of the case, I'm going to have two 120mm fans. And of course, the DVD Blu-ray, well, forget about it. I don't need that. I don't really use those anymore. I'm going to take out the bracket that's in there to add more space. And of course, I'm going to gut it until it looks like this. Very nice and clean, easily removed, and of course now I can put things in there without any problems. So the 120mm fans at the top taking in cool air. They're going to run on very low speed, so I'm going to have things cool and quiet. There's the power supply on the side. We're going to clean up those cables afterwards. There's the motherboard, so it gives you an idea on how much space you got to maneuver with the graphics card at the top on that single PCI Express slot that it comes with. Liquid CPU cooler is going to go there at the back. Of course, I got a Coolit Eco CPU cooler, and here is the Toxic edition of the Sapphire R9 270X. Uses two 6-pin PCI Express connectors, which I have tied in and fastened very neatly. As you can see there, again, modular power supply does come in handy because there's not a lot of cables. Use only what you need and fasten it very nicely with twist ties. Now, after you've done that, of course, you can take the card out. You can put in the CPU cooler first. You can maneuver, decide how you want to do this. I'm using the Coolit Eco liquid cooler, which actually installs very easily. So I am fortunate to be able to do that and install that on there. And as such, I have already done it. As you can see there, sandwiched in that radiator, I've got two 120mm fans that are going to keep this puppy cool, running it at 4.5 gigahertz. That's right, you heard me, 4.5 gigahertz straight, turbo disabled. It's going to be locked on and running at that full time. Now, we got the Kingston SSD drive running there as well. You can add 3 of those, have them in RAID if you want. But for starters, I'm just going to install the one on that plate that it came with from Bitfinex, the Prodigy M case. And of course, later on, add more hard drives onto that. Now, here is the case. Last thing I'm doing is just fastening all the cables, putting in all the twist ties, making sure that nothing touches or hits the fans. And of course, after that, we turn it on. Okay, so after we made sure that everything is out of the way, everything is clean, nice and tidy, we go ahead and power it on. There it is. Sapphire logo glowing very nicely. There is the liquid cooler fans running, purring along. And of course, on low speed at the bottom, we have that huge fan in red. Why red? Because it's blowing the hot, warm air out. So there you have it. Now, benchmarks. What do we got? 4.5 gigahertz on this board as promised. And of course, that graphics card, I've actually tweaked it a little bit, overclocked it a little bit further get a little bit more performance out of it as well. Now, temperatures running about 40 degrees Celsius. Okay, we'll round it up to 40 degrees Celsius on idle, and on regular loads, I would say it goes up to 50, 60 degrees Celsius. Here is the AIDA64 cache memory benchmark, so you can see how fast that G.skill memory is, fast latency and timings. You can see here how the CPU Queen results rank my machine, a 4-core Intel Core i7, along with a 6-core machine. So there you have it. This is indeed a high-end machine that I've built here, and on the PC Mark 8 Creative results that I ran benchmarks on, it also scored my machine above average. As you can see there on the high-end gaming spectrum, my score was quite high. So I'm very proud to say that this machine is indeed working as expected. So what else can I say? Well, I ran the Fire Strike benchmarks as well that give good high performance stress tests on these types of machines. So again, here are the results. You can compare this online. You can compare against other videos that I did with other machines and graphics cards, so it gives you a good idea. Temperatures again on the GPU were under 50 degrees Celsius during these loads, and at the stress test points, the CPU touched into the 70 degrees Celsius mark even. That, of course, was a heavy stress test. But then again, I'm not running it at 100% full load 24/7. Here we have 3D Mark Vantage CPU scores, so you can again compare how my gaming build on this mini PC looks compared to these other CPUs. Now, games, that's what we're using this for. Single player benchmarks on Crysis 3, you can see here on HD, 1080p, very high settings, all the way up to high. You can see here I don't go anywhere below high on my benchmarks. They're all going to be high, extreme, ultimate settings. And this is what you're getting. Smooth graphics, smooth results. On Sleeping Dogs, if you're into these martial arts type games, of course, again, on extreme settings, you can see there the average frames per second, around 40 frames per second, very smooth results I'm getting on extreme, okay? Now, Tomb Raider, okay, Lara Croft, looking beautiful as always, running her on ultimate or ultra texture, high quality settings, of course, and here she is, giving us her max, and 68 frames per second on the max, and on average, we're getting a decent 50. Favorite game here, Battlefield 4. That's right, you got it. I know you're interested in multiplayer benchmarks, and here it is. Running it with the Gigabyte board, the Z87N Wi-Fi, and I am playing this right now, as you can see it on the screen, using the Wi-Fi. I'm not connected with the Ethernet cable. I'm getting really great ping rates, no lag, smooth as you can see here. And yes, I am an engineer at sometimes, and sometimes I like to do the recon and be a sniper. But here I am going around, looking for that tank that's hiding on the left-hand side at the bottom, trying to get my guys over there. I'm going to tease them to get them out from the bottom, shoot them a couple times, make them come out of there, get the rest of my team to chime in, and then we can take that tank on, no problem. So this is an example of what I'm talking about. You play at ultra high settings, online, multiplayer, 1080p, no lag, things are running smooth. How do you do it? Well, I know you're wondering how much this machine costs right now. You're probably thinking this thing costs like $2 grand or something. Well, no, it doesn't cost $2 grand. Believe it or not, this machine costs just over $1,000 US plus tax, of course. Depending on where you buy the parts, depending on how and what you change, you might be able to build it even for less. But of course, this is, like I said, a high-end PC. I didn't pick cheap parts. They're all great parts, high-end quality, and I did review many of these parts individually. So if you're interested in seeing any of these reviewed independently, I have made different videos for them. Okay, so I like to stress that the Intel Core i7 4770K is overclocked to 4.5 gigahertz. That is a big help. The Gigabyte board is a high-end board, even though it's a mini little guy, but still it packs a lot of great features, as I pointed out earlier. And the Sapphire R9 270X, well, this Toxic Edition really flies and comes overclocked out of the factory, so it's even faster than what you would expect. So the combination of all of these things that basically I want to thank all these sponsors for really made it happen. And I'd like your opinion. Comment below. What do you think about this machine? Do you have something similar already? Are you planning on building something similar? Let me know what you think, and again, thank you for watching.